Enough of your lies, Raquel. I know for a fact that you were the one who called the reception hall and canceled our wedding.
What? Are you out of your mind, Jalen? I have no clue what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb with me. I just got off the phone with the reception hall. They told me that a woman with the same last name as the groom called them and said she wanted to cancel the wedding. But I told them that it wasn't me.
Oh, you poor thing. You must have forgotten that you were the one who called them, didn't you? Not only are you a broke loser, but you also have a memory of a goldfish, Jalen. Well, I'm glad you canceled the wedding because you clearly can't handle being married.
What? No.
Yes, you did. You called them yourself and asked them to cancel the wedding, right? But then you forgot all about it and started accusing me of doing it. Do you have some kind of mental disorder or something? I'm sorry, but I don't want to be related to a woman with such issues. I think canceling the wedding is the best thing for everyone.
You're such a liar, Raquel. You're trying to cover up your own guilt by making me doubt myself. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter if you believe me or not. Because you called the fake reception hall that we set up for you. So, our real wedding is still on.
What? Wait a minute, what do you mean by fake reception hall?
I'll tell you the truth. We lied to you about our wedding is. We're having it at a totally different place.
What did you say?
You've always been trying to sabotage me in my relationship with your brother. So we had to outsmart you. Remember when you canceled our reservations for the restaurant where we were supposed to meet you and your parents? Or when you canceled our appointment to see some houses? Well, this time we set up a trap for you and you fell for it.
I can't believe this. You lied to me to protect your pathetic wedding. Were you planning to keep me in the dark and make me miss your wedding? Me, the daughter of a CEO? Me, who has the most powerful father in the country?
We weren't planning to exclude you or anything like that. We were going to tell you the real location of the wedding the day before. But since you proved us right by trying to cancel our wedding, we're glad we set up a decoy for you.
You're the worst. The worst woman ever. How dare you lie to me, the daughter of a CEO?
I didn't lie to you or hurt you or anything, okay? I just wanted to make sure our wedding was safe from your schemes. And well, I'm happy we did.
You sneaky bitch. I don't want you to ever join my family. I can't believe that my little brother is marrying a penniless woman like you. No matter what you do, I'll stop your wedding.
No matter what? I think it's a good idea to keep the real wedding location a secret from you.
Shut up! Don't you dare talk back to me, you poor trash. I know you only want to marry my brother to get your hands on our family's wealth. I don't want a cunning woman like you in my family, stealing what we've earned. No matter what you do, that wedding will never happen. I'll make sure of it. I hope you don't have any dreams of being married to a rich man.
I just checked your text. I can't believe my sister actually fell for our trick and tried to cancel our wedding like that.
But thankfully, we were smart enough to set up that fake so our wedding is still safe. However, we really have to figure out what to do with your sister. I never expected her to be so opposed to us getting married.
I'm stunned by how low she's willing to go myself. She crossed the line this time, trying to ruin what was doomed to be the most wonderful day of our lives.
Do you have any idea why she hates us so much? Getting married, I mean. I know that the family I come from is nothing compared to your family, Asher. But she keeps treating me like dirt because she thinks I'm a gold digger. There has to be something else behind why she doesn't want to marry you. Do you think I offended her somehow in the past and never realized it?
No, I don't think there was anything else to her madness right now. She just can't stand the idea of you marrying me. You haven't done anything to deserve this, Jaylene, so don't blame yourself.
What? So she just hates me for no reason? So she just hates me marrying you? And that's what's driving her to do all this crazy stuff.
I'm sure you've seen it for yourself. But Raquel's pride is through the roof. She's been the daughter of a CEO since she was born and has been pampered with everything she wanted because of it. And because of that upbringing, she always looks down on everyone else, thinking that her family is superior to everyone else. Because of that, my dad has given up on her completely.
What?
My dad has already told me his plans for her. He said that he's going to give his company to me when he retires. When she heard about that, she went berserk. I guess she just assumed that she'd inherit the company without having to work for it, and would be able to live her lavish life forever. That's probably another reason why she doesn't want us to get married. She probably doesn't want you to share the money I'll get as CEO when you're my wife. So she's been trying to get rid of you from the family.
What the hell? So it's really just her who cares about the money in your family's assets.
And I'm sure she's furious about the fact that she'll never be the CEO of the company my dad built. And once you're my wife, she'll probably lose all the privileges she enjoys because my mom and dad will focus on us. She's basically going to lose her access to the family's fortune. And she hates that more than anything. And so she's doing everything she can to stop our wedding and marriage.
Well, I guess that makes some sense. At least there's some logic behind her insanity.
My dad was always hoping to have my sister involved in his company. She may be a total bitch, but she's not dumb. But every day her pride just gets bigger and bigger. And it's not worth it anymore for my dad to deal with her. The fact that she thinks she's better than everyone else for no good reason has really turned my dad off from ever wanting anything to do with her. He knows that if he puts Raquel in charge of anything in his company, the place would collapse in a day.
Well, no one is going to want to work for or with someone who is going to so constantly insult them. Having her in any leadership roles, there would definitely be a disaster.
I'm sure that even she realized that she would never be able to handle the responsibilities of running a company, especially after she's done such horrible things to you. Just remember that there is no way our wedding is going to be ruined by her, but we're still going to have to be careful and vigilant just to make sure.
I really hope this wedding doesn't get affected by her. She's like some kind of wild beast with sharp claws that never stop. Every time she senses that her future of luxury and money is in danger.
I think once the wedding is done, she's going to admit defeat and leave us alone. So even though I know this is causing you a lot of stress, can you just bear with her a little longer? We just have to make it to the wedding. And after that, everything will be fine.
Well, we only have a month to go before the wedding, right? As long as she doesn't discover the real occasion of her wedding, everything's going to be okay on my side. Let's make sure this wedding goes smoothly and beautifully.
Do you see what happens now? I think this means your wedding is canceled now. I mean, you're the bride, but you're all covered in that dark red wine. Now that beautiful white wedding dress of yours is completely covered in it. What the hell do you think you're doing, Raquel? Do you have any idea what you just did to me? Pouring wine all over me like that from behind? Well, it's your fault for never telling me about your actual wedding plans until the last minute. Had you just told me that, we would have never had to come to this point we're at now.
Do you really want our wedding to be canceled that badly? Even if you're able to cancel this wedding, it's not going to increase your chance of getting the company from your dad.
Shut the hell up, you moneyless hag. Which I'm never going to give up on. Getting my dad's company, the money it has, and all the other assets from it are going to be mine because I'm my dad's first child. So to me, a woman like you coming into the wedding with my brother is nothing more than an obstacle.
Excuse me?
My dad has been saying he plans on giving the company to Asher, but I think there's still time. A man that's been slighted by his older sister is never going to run any company. So I've been making plans all along to make sure the company falls back into my hands. I have to make sure that you and him don't get married, because if you were to become a part of my family and then started to have kids, both of my parents would fall for their grandbabies and would never turn around and let me have the company ever again. So that's why I'm going to all out to make sure you never marry Asher.
So what's your reasoning behind all this, Fen? You poured wine all over me because of your future?
I find that moneyless lowlives like you look great covered in red sticky wine. And actually, I think that once my dad sees how you look right now, he'll be on the same page as me. He would never want a disgusting woman like you to become a part of his great and wealthy family.
Huh?
Go ahead and cry about it. You, baby, I loved the look on your face after I drenched you in wine. Thinking of how much it looks like you wanted to cry makes me laugh my butt off.
You are the worst, and I mean that. Get your laughs and now for all the rude things you've done to me. Because after today, you won't be laughing anymore.
Stop it with all that talking and hurry up on canceling this wedding. I want a poor loser like you to get out of my life forever. You can't have a wedding anymore when you're covered in wine from head to toe.
Then, I guess this wedding is canceled.
And once you've done all that, never come around my family again. I want you to promise me that you'll stay away from my family and our money forever.
I don't really care about all that. But are you sure that you're okay with this? You're about to be losing your dad. One of his biggest customers of this wedding is canceled. And once that happened, who knows what's going to happen to this company?
What?
I think you should hurry up and go take a look at your parents' faces right now. Both of them look like ghosts right now and on the brink of collapsing. So white that the color of this all wine on my dress really pops when standing next to them.
Wait a second. What kind of customer are you talking about? You're nothing more than an average person, right? Which means all you work are like 3 part-time jobs or something to stay afloat, right?
What?
You had said that about yourself before, right? You were talking about how back when you were in college, you had to pay for the costs all by yourself, and that required you to work so many jobs. And you were talking about how much of a failure your parents are because they were never able to save up any money for your education. And about how those two, being your parents, really ruined your life and turned you into a low-life runt.
My parents happen to be very amazing people. They both love to take on large challenges and even have started businesses overseas.
What?
They aren't really known for having any companies here in the States, but overseas, they have quite a few large ones, and I happen to be their daughter. So, just like you, I happen to be the daughter of a couple of CEOs.
What?
For as long as I can remember, I was living overseas all my life as a young girl. But once it was time for high school, I came back to the States to go somewhere here. And while I was back here, back in the US, by myself, I got asked to do something by my parents. They said if I planned on going to college in the US, then I'd have to pay for all of it by myself. Well, they covered some of my tuition, but besides that, I was on my own. They wanted to see just how well I could handle myself, one challenge with having to be my only supporting pillar.
What?
And after being a while on my own, I was able to get the hang of life and work for whatever money I needed. That's why I was talking about how in college I had to pay for everything myself. And that's why I was having to work so many part-time jobs.
So that's what was going on?
But of course, as a student, you can really only make so much for yourself. So for a while, I did have to struggle a bit with choosing what I could and couldn't afford, but when I think back on all of that, the experience I gained was really worth it. I was able to learn how to manage my life with just a little bit of money I earned. And I don't think you should be making fun of me for gaining that kind of experience. If anything, you should be respecting me for going through something like that and making it out okay.
Oh crap, my mom and dad are looking for me right now. You just told me they were ghostly white, but right now they're as red as lobsters. I can tell that they're really, really pissed off.
I'm sure they are. You went ahead and poured wine all over the bride on her wedding day. And this wasn't just about marrying your brother, but about the talks I had with your dad on a business level. I think it's only fair that everyone involved in those talks would be pissed at you.
But I didn't know you were this kind of person back when I did all of that. So this was just bound to happen.
Go ahead and make up all kinds of excuses for it. I'd like you to go and tell your dad all of them right now. I'm gonna go now. And just as you wanted, this wedding is being cancelled.
Jalen, you have to help me. Please talk to my dad and calm him down.
What are you talking about? What did you do this time? Did your lies finally catch up with you?
He slapped me hard 3 times. He never hit me before. My face is burning and swollen.
Wow, he must be really furious with you.
This is a nightmare. He said he was going to announce that my brother would take over his company at the wedding. He invited all the big shots from his business to witness it. He wanted to make the wedding a celebration of Asher's success.
Really? That was his plan?
But now he blames me for ruining everything. He says I made a huge mess of his company and his reputation. He says I shamed the whole family.
And you know what? There were 200 people at the wedding, and most of them were your dad's colleagues and employees.
He hit me so hard, Jalen. He told me to get out of his house and his life. He said he doesn't consider me his daughter anymore. He said he's cutting me off. No more money, no more support. He never wants to see me again.
Really? His disowning you?
He is. I begged him to forgive me, but he wouldn't listen. He said I have to fend for myself now. He said I'm not welcome in his family anymore.
You've always lived off his money, haven't you? How are you going to survive without it?
You don't understand. I can't live without his money. I can't live without him. My life is over.
No, it's not. You can still live. You just have to work hard like everyone else. You can do it if you try.
I don't want to try. I want you to fix this for me. If you do, I'll be nice to you from now on. I'll even let you marry Asher.
What?
We'll be more than sisters-in-law. We'll be real sisters. We're already like that, right? Sisters, you wouldn't let your older sister suffer like this, right? So, as my little sister, go and save me. You do think of me as your sister, right? You've always been lonely without any siblings. If you help me, I'll be your big sister forever.
I don't want a sister like you, so forget it.
What?
And I don't pity you at all, actually. So, stop asking me to help you with your problems.
How can you say such awful things to your older sister? I'm desperate for someone to help me, and I even promised to be nice to you. And you still reject me.
If you think Jaylin is rejecting you for what you did to her, after calling her all those names, then you're a heartless woman. You don't deserve anyone's help. After what you did to her at the wedding, you destroyed her wedding, and you don't even care.
What? Wait, is that you, Asher? Do you have Jalen's phone now?
I'm asking you to please just leave Jaylin and I alone. Alright? I'm going to be getting the company from Dad very soon. And once that happens, there will be no place in this family for you.
Wait a second. Why are you not on my side in all of this? You're my little brother.
Well, if you wanted me to side with you, you should have acted like a grown-up.
What?
Your pride has grown too big for your own good, and it's made living with you as your sibling. Hell, you always acted like everyone around us was horrible while trying to be kind to me. But it always had the opposite effect, leading up to you ruining my wedding with the woman I love. I was really hoping that you would get along with her because I wanted to make her my wife. But you never came around to her, and that pushed me to my limits.
What?
It's the most important day of my life. You poured wine all over the most important woman of my life. I don't care how long I've been your family. I'm not forgiving you over that. Now that I'm next in line to becoming the CEO, I'm gonna make sure I do everything in my power to keep you away from us. I'm going to get rid of the horrible influence that's been tarnishing my family's name once and for all.
What? Wait a second, Asher. What the hell has happened to you? You were never the kind of boy that would say such scary things as that to me.
I told you, I have to get rid of the bad influence in my family. In order to do that, I need to change into a real man. The man my family needs. The man that has to be here to protect his wife who's been hurt. I've had enough of you, Raquel.
No way!
This is not just Dad kicking you out of the family, but everyone. We are all finished with your BS and are cutting ties to you. Never ever come around us again.
But that's not going to be good for me. I've never worked a job in my life and you know that. And I've just been trying to live off the money Dad makes with his company. Please, do anything besides cutting ties to me and ending the money you give me.
Then you can get your butt over to us right now and apologize in person. You come to tell us just how sorry you really are after ruining our wedding. If you want to be forgiven for all your sins, then you're going to have to start by begging. I want you on your hands and knees begging us for forgiveness after pouring wine all down my wife's head and dress.
What?
Although I'm sure you, of all people, will never be able to understand what I'm asking for. You probably have no idea what trouble you've just caused for her whole family yesterday.
But you're asking me to get on my hands and knees all because I poured some wine on her?
I never said I was going to force you to come here. I'm just saying that if you don't come over here right now begging for our forgiveness, then we are done with you.
What?
Honestly, I'm starting to think it's better not to forgive you. I'd actually like to see you struggle for the rest of your life. After what you've done, I want you to turn out like Jalen. After having to go through a difficult time in life that's made you fend for yourself. Do your best with that new life you have coming, Raquel. I promise I'll be doing my best as the next CEO of Dad's company.
That was the last straw for her. Maybe it was her stubborn pride, but Raquel never came crawling back to us, begging for forgiveness. She was kicked out of her parents' house and banished to a tiny apartment in the city, where she had to fend for herself. But she was clueless about how to survive in the real world. She couldn't hold on to any job for more than a few days. She struggled to make ends meet, living from paycheck to paycheck. I wonder if she'll ever learn from her mistakes and grow up. As for Asher and me, I had a backup plan. I had a spare just ready in case something happened to the one I was wearing. I just had to change it into and resume my wedding, which was delayed but not ruined. But we didn't want Raquel to know anything about it. We told everyone to keep quiet and not share anything online. We wanted her to feel the consequences of her actions. We wanted her to realize how wrong she was. And we hope that by the time she did, she would be self-sufficient enough to never bother us again.